Welcome.
Women are beautiful, and there's nothing wrong with that. And that is what exactly the director of Stellar Blade, the Korean game that's coming up from the new developer Shift Up, and it's causing controversy all over the internet, at least the Western social media, with its character designs and its overall appeal and focus on female beauty. And this is something that is seen as shocking nowadays because we have an obsessive focus on the overall down-to-earth look of a lot of female characters, where we try to make it hyper-realistic, where we're seeing similar actresses in different roles and subsequent games that kind of break the fantasy of actually playing video games. Especially Deborah Wilson, we see her in everything from Kill the Justice League to Call of Duty to a whole host of video games that where we're just not even in the fantasy of the game anymore because we're seeing the same faces over and over and over again. And I think that is the ultimate effect that we're seeing now, where we're being brought back to reality when we're supposed to be escaping reality in these games. And nothing against Deborah Wilson, this actress, but I'm just tired of seeing her in everything, and it makes everything feel like the same game. It's crazy when you're seeing someone from Jedi Survivor that's in Kill the Justice League, is in Call of Duty, is in Destiny, is just everywhere, where it just breaks the reality of the game, where you're not thinking about the fantasy, you're thinking about this random actress that you're seeing everywhere. And I like what the game director is saying for Stellar Blade, where he's saying, I'm playing games to break away from reality. I don't want to see something down to earth and realistic. I want to see something otherworldly and fantastic, and that is the main focus of Stellar Blade. If you haven't heard about Stellar Blade, the trailer came out a few years ago, and it has caught the video game industry by storm just because its visual take on things, it's beautifying things, it's making things attractive and appealing to the male gaze. And I think that is the main thing that is appealing to the mass majority in the Western audience, because we are not getting that anymore in the video game sphere, because most of these game developers are focused on the hyper realistic look. They want to de-objectify women and the male gaze because they have all these Western political takes and progressive ideals and think tanks and investment banks that are supporting them that have this similar thought process. So they're injecting it into the video game space, and we're getting these hyper realistic down-to-earth looks that are just not appealing to the mass audience. And that's where I get that take where I'm saying it's okay to love beautiful women. And I think that is the main take that we're getting from the director of Stellar Blade, where he's not shy about saying we focus on the overall looks. We're given different costumes and customization. I really focused on the back of the female protagonist. This is a quote from him where he's saying we really wanted to make attention to this back of the female protagonist because we're always going to see her. That's our main focus as the gamer, and he's just trying to make it as appealing as possible. And I think that is just the care that you have for something when you're trying to appeal to a mass audience. You're trying to please the mass customer base, and you're trying to do something that usually was the traditional thing you did with gaming. You try to make it attractive to the main player base, which is usually male. And even if that's not male, the female game player base are just attracted to attractive people as well. And that is just basic psychology and social sciences, where we already know a baby is attracted to the golden ratio of the architecture of someone's face. So it's just something natural that we're attracted to these beautiful characters or this beautiful design. And I think that is something that can't be ignored, but is being ignored in the Western game development space for political reasons. And we already went over some of those social reasons, but I think that is the thing that is destroying this space. And I love that the Stellar Blade game director is being honest and saying, we focus on these things because we know it's appealing. We're trying to actually make money and a profit. We're not trying to push a socio-ideological position and trying to de-objectify women or womanize the game so they can have this social impact score and resonance with the gamer and change their mind politically about something that they don't even care about. And that is how the Western game development space is developing right now, and people are just sick and tired of it. So when a game like Stellar Blade is being positioned and showed and it has none of those ideological stances, people are going to clamor to it, and it is working for this game. It's ranked up to number 2 as the most pre-ordered game this month, right underneath Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is one of the most popular games ever made. So it is beating the competition decisively, and I think the main thing is focusing on beautiful character design. And I think that's exactly what we're getting with this game, a focus on beauty that hasn't been there. The director himself saying he's paying special attention on Eve's, the main character's backside. It's her overall facial expressions, of course jiggle physics. I know everyone's going to be mad at that, but these are things that the male gaze looks for, and it doesn't matter if you say this is wrong or right. This is how people actually function in reality, and that's how you sell a game to the people. You create something attractive, and there's nothing wrong with creating attractive models that people gravitate towards. And I think that's exactly what's happening with Eve in the Stellar Blade, and it's working at a great success for the Shift Up company. I think that's something that cannot be denied now. But it's interesting to see the Stellar Blade director say, we don't want to do something normal, we want to be something more ideal. And that is the quote I would love to see from other Western game developers that we're just not seeing. And it's funny to see it from a Korean developer, and Korean developers are new on the scene. It's not like Japan, where we had over 40 years of development of video games that kind of led to a gigantic industry. And Japan is one of those nations that has been getting a lot more Western eyes, at least Western game players focused on them, because they are producing something that is effective and interesting and has that same male gaze focus that is gravitating a whole fan base that is being neglected by the Western game developers because of their impractical and hyper focus on political leanings and overall trying to change the mind of the consumer about something they don't really care about. And I think that is the main thing that we're seeing with these new developers. It seems like there's a bunch of game developers in Korea developing similar games and just doing things on their own outside of the influence of the Western development space. And it is exciting for a gamer to see just a new area of development of gaming that is growing in Korea. And Korea is known for its popular entertainment. I think that is the main thing that is getting people excited about this, is where we're seeing more popular content from Korea. And Korea is already dominating in the music sphere and basically in the movie and television show space, especially if you account for the Netflix TV shows that are coming out and gaining so much support. There's a TV show called Glory that was number 3 in the ratings for Netflix last year, and of course Squid Game. There's so much entertainment in Korea that is winning because of the incessant focus of Western entertainment on politics, on changing the mind of the consumer rather than actually pleasing them and entertaining them. And we're seeing that bear results in the video gaming space for a country like Korea that is freer to actually placate and satisfy the male customer base. And I think that is the thing that we're seeing with Stellar Blade, with everything related to its customizations, its look, and its overall appeal of not being ashamed of liking the female anatomy. I think that is the main thing that we have in the Western world. People embarrassed about the female body, not trying to show it, even though we have entertainment spaces where we're always celebrating everyone revealing themselves. We have things like paid subscription services where women are allowed to show their body. We have hip-hop rap music where women are supported to talk about raunchy things and their crazy lives when it comes to relationships with other people. And I think that is the contradiction that we're seeing that is not played out in the video game space, where we're supposed to be hyper restrictive, but you can smash someone's skull in Mortal Kombat 1 as long as she's not wearing revealing clothes. And that contradiction is just showing, okay, this is being developed by someone with a hyper contradictive mindset, where they don't even know what they don't like, just don't like that you're being entertained by something that is pulling for your attention and the male gaze that you offer it. And I think it's just that anger at people actually enjoying something that is more ideal and less realistic. I don't know what it is, but it's just this anger at this specific thing that people are enjoying and they want to destroy it. And it's this obsession that is bleeding over into the video game space and all of entertainment. We see it with Star Wars and Marvel, where they come in with these hyper-focused gender politics and just want to tear down everything that we enjoy and make it into something that is unenjoyable. And I think that's the same thing that's happening in gaming, and I love that Korea is pushing back against that. But you leave your comments, tell me what you think about the situation. Do you like that Shift Up is more focused on the ideal female shape of beauty? I think that is just something we always wanted in video games that has been removed over time because of these insecure people that are taking up the space. And I'm just happy there's a developer fighting back against this ever-growing crowd of people that are demanding something a little less beautiful in gaming. But you leave your thoughts. You tell me what you think about the situation. Like, share, and subscribe. This is Wagner Knows Why. Catch you next time.